Some of these guys could use a Valium. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 unhinged British performances.
I feel lethal, on the verge of frenzy. I think my mask of sanity is about to slip.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we take a look at some of the most insane, excessive or downright balmy characters performed by some of Britain's finest actors.
And now I want you to tell me everything you know about Italian food. And don't forget the name of the chef who fixed it for me.
Number 10, Ralph Fiennes' Red Dragon.
You owe me all.
It takes some serious acting skills to stand shoulder to shoulder with Anthony Hopkins' Dr. Lecter. And if there's anyone that can do it, it's Ralph Fiennes. Please see his horrifying portrayal of Nazi Commandant in Schindler's List. Francis Dolarhyde, the true antagonist of this prequel in the Hannibal series of movies, is a murderous psychopath with a split personality. The Great Red Dragon, who takes his name from the William Blake painting tattooed on his back, murders entire families on a full moon, and is as terrifying and unhinged as his name suggests.
No, you can't have her!
Please don't let him have me.
Number 9, Helena Bonham Carter, Fight Club.
Did I call you?
The chain-smoking, sex-addicted Marla Singer may not be punching people in the face like the protagonist of the film, but she's as devious and unhinged as Tyler Durden himself. And she's one of Bonham Carter's best roles. From the moment she is introduced, the first catalyst for the narrator's descent into madness, we know she is a fraud just like him.
She was a liar. She had no diseases at all.
But while he is chained to a life of appearances, she, a free if deranged spirit, doesn't care what the world thinks or wants of her.
You love me, you hate me. You show me a sensitive side, then you turn into a total asshole. Is that a pretty accurate description of our relationship, Tyler?
Number 8, Ben Kingsley, Sexy Beast.
Yes, 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 yes!
As an actor, switching from Gandhi to a violent and criminal sociopath can be quite a big step. And that the usually mild-mannered Sir Ben Kingsley could pull off such a menacing performance comes almost as a surprise.
Why don't you just put the cigarette out?
What's that, Sancho? You want me to cut your hands off, use it as an ashtray?
His Don Logan is as unhinged as a gangster comes, and in a world of crime and violence, that's saying something. As he recruits retired criminals for the heist he has planned, his brutality is excessive, almost cartoonish, yet scarily believable. He is a monster of the worst kind, the kind that may even exist.
Who do you think you are? Give me the castle. Cock of the walk.
Number 7, Christian Bale, American Psycho.
Pat Bateman, you want some, money?
He's young, rich and handsome. Too bad he's also a narcissistic sociopath with a penchant for murder. His name is Patrick Bateman, and this is the role that helped Christian Bale rise to prominence as an adult actor. And what a performance it is, subdued and creepy one moment, completely mental and unhinged the next.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
This axe-wielding maniac who speaks like an advertisement has become a symbol of yuppie excess, a satirical portrait almost as unhinged as the real wafer-thin people it takes aim at.
Would you like to hear the specials?
Not if you want to keep your spleen.
Number 6, Andy Serkis, The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Now and ever come back.
Now one of the most classic characters in the fantasy genre, Gollum represents what humanity becomes when too feeble to withstand the corruption of power. He is unhinged in the way a terminal addict is unhinged, the one ring occupying his every thought.
What's it saying, my precious, my love? Is Smeagol losing his nerve?
True, we only get to see Serkis' actual face at the beginning of the trilogy's last film, but his performance remains an acting masterclass even through the still great motion capture and CGI. Even his short appearance in The Hobbit is one of the film's best moments.
Finish him off. Finish him now. Kill him. Kill him.
No.
Number 5, Tom Hardy, Bronson. Hardy's cross-dressing, monologuing, buttered-up Bronson might still be the weirdest, most insane performance by the British actor. And that's saying something, when Hardy has made a trademark of taking on unhinged characters and pushing them to the limit. Based on the real-life convict whom Hardy met and talked with extensively in preparation for the role, the titular character of Bronson in Nicholas Winding Refn's film is hard to forget, from his violent outbursts to his fourth wall-breaking moments.
I'm Charlie Bronson. I am Britain's most violent prisoner.
Number 4, Daniel DayLewis, Gangs of New York.
He rises against me.
I cut off his head, stick it on a pike.
He's known for going to insane lengths to get into character, and his dedication shows, especially in roles as big, bad and thoroughly unhinged as Bill the Butcher. His constant anger and bigger-than-life physicality make DayLewis's performance in Scorsese's flawed epic one of his most memorable.
And may the Christian Lord guide my hand against your Roman popery!
Brutal, violent, and always striving to strike fear in his enemies as much as in his friends, Bill lives by his own strict code, which grants him a depth and gravitas only somebody like the legendary and seemingly retired actor could do justice to.
I extinguish his life and consume him as I consume these flames.
Number 3, Gary Oldman, Leon.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
The drug-addicted narc, the main antagonist of the film, is one of the actor's most memorable and craziest characters. His nervous tics, love of classical music, general unpleasantness and crazed behaviour all contribute to a cracking performance.
It's when you start to become really afraid of death that you learn to appreciate life.
As bad, if not much worse than any other criminal he might be pursuing, this corrupt cop who goes on violent murderous rampages while hearing Beethoven in his head could well be the picture under the definition of unhinged in the dictionary. And Oldman gets into this psychopath's shoes with great gusto.
Bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
Everyone!
Number 2, James McAvoy, Filth.
I used to be a good person.
One of this Scotsman's finest roles, Detective Sergeant Bruce Robertson is a misanthropic bully, always scheming to get to the top by standing on someone else's face. He himself is dealing with a host of addictions and psychological issues, which make him more like the criminals he hunts than a lawman.
What of this promotion, eh?
A mere formality, I'm sure.
As the film progresses and he loses more and more touch with reality, McAvoy's portrayal of this psychopathic cop truly shines, planting a seed of humanity in one of the most unhinged Machiavellian characters of the decade.
See, he's a hardened criminal, and with a lawyer like Conrad Donaldson behind him, could go either way.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions.
I come with you. Will you come and take the phone with you? If I see you on my streets again, I'll slash you.
The nails speak! Get up! Oh, get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right. No!
Number 1, Robert Carlyle, Trainspotting.
You bring the cards. What? The cards. The last thing I told you was to mind the cards.
When it comes to unhinged characters, very few can compare to the absolutely insane Franco Begbie. Carlyle's performance is pitch perfect, translating Irvine Welsh's Scottish heavy dialogue to the screen in a way nobody else possibly could have. His scrawny, diminutive frame is no hindrance for this terrifying man, who looks for fights with the same desperate need the other Trainspotting characters look for heroin. He won't be reasoned with, he won't be placated, violence and psychotic outbursts are all Begbie knows, and all he ever wants.
You mention that again, I'll cut you up. You understand?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.